So it's been an absolutely wild day today so far in gaming news, and there is a lot that I still have to go over in Newswave tomorrow morning, so make sure you tune into that 8 a.m. Eastern Time. But late last night, Nintendo did release their financial results to close out this last fiscal year that ended March 31st, 2024. And as we're going through it, pretty standard information as to how many Switch systems they sold, some of the game sales revenue, right? But then, out of nowhere, we got a tweet at 3 a.m. Eastern Time from the president of Nintendo, and it looks like they're just about ready to unveil the Switch 2, at least so much so that they're ready to actually talk about it a bit on Twitter and actually with investors as well. We're going to go over that here today. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe if you're new, which it is actually nice. We can make a Switch 2 video and no one's really going to be annoyed because Nintendo themselves are the source for this one. Something that many people have been asking for. Hey, I just want to hear about it when Nintendo talks about it. Well, here we are. This is Furukawa. Just make sure you know it's very interesting the way that Nintendo does this because we see Miyamoto. Remember, this is Miyamoto, and they just talk about like the Nintendo theme park or the Zelda movie or Mario movie, something like that. It's just funny how they kind of announce themselves. It's almost like they walk into a room on Twitter or on X, like this is Furukawa. And then they have a comma there and everything for the dramatic pause. Anyway, president of Nintendo, we will make an announcement about the successor to Nintendo Switch within the fiscal year. It will have been over 9 years since we announced the existence of Nintendo Switch back in March 2015, if you remember the NX, right? So we just had a kind of a code name and stuff. It wasn't until later on that we got that trailer towards the end, or like the fall of 2016, to show off the concept and talk about the Switch. So yes, we're, again, 9 years. It's been quite a while since that Switch was first technically announced at that time, which really, if you think about it, the Wii U is like, 4 years or so after the Wii U? Actually, less than 3.5 years after the Wii U came out. So it kind of shows you where the Wii U was, really, in Nintendo's mind for that one. And I'll say we'll be holding a Nintendo Direct this June regarding the Switch software lineup for the latter half of 2024, but please be aware that there will be no mention of the Switch successor during that presentation, which I'll talk more about the Direct tomorrow morning in Newswave. So again, tune into that if you want to hear a bit more of my thoughts there, because I think I think they have a bit of a strategy here on how they're going to navigate the rest of 2024 going into 2025. And we kind of also have an indication, I think, as to when this new system is coming out. And we have some more information even coming from investors, as of course, Nintendo, after putting this out there, we're going to be asked about this system. Apparently they were asked quite a bit, actually, and they had Furukawa anyway, had a response seemingly ready to go. This was from David Gibson, who says, in the results call, when asked if the next-gen console was brand new or, I guess what else, Furukawa answered, Switch Next model is the appropriate way to describe it. We should have an official English transcription of this call over the next few days. It might be next week that it comes out. But either way, we should get that transcription, and we'll be able to go back and look at all the questions and the official translations that Nintendo releases, because there is still some nuance when it comes to translation. Like, for example, this message that was put out on X from the president, Furukawa, people were looking at the Japanese version versus the English version and was like, okay, no, that kind of says this quarter for their reveal, but then others were pointing out, no, in context, that technically means this fiscal year. So again, we'll wait for Nintendo to put out the official translation. I understand people will also do their own Deep L translation and stuff just to see if they can glean anything from some of these different questions and answers. But I think it's pretty clear the way that this was described, and apparently Furukawa said this over and over and over again, it's going to be a follow-up to the Switch. Go figure. The way that we've heard about this through different rumors and reports, it does sound like it's shaping up to be the Switch 2, right, basically. I mean, they're going to have a different name for it. I don't think they're just putting a 2 on the end of this, but the Switch branding is way too strong to leave behind. So it's going to have the Switch in there somewhere, whether it's Super Switch, Switch Advance, who knows how they end up titling this. It'll be something really, really weird, I'm sure, and it'll show up and be like, okay, I guess that makes sense, and then maybe it grows on us over time, like even the Switch itself technically did. But the interesting thing is they mention revealing or making the announcement and reveal for this successor in this fiscal year. That means technically Nintendo has up until the end of March 2025 to make this reveal, and they would still be correct here, and the information would be solid to investors. Remember, with this account here, they are speaking essentially to investors, despite the tweet getting 19.5 million impressions at the time of this recording, and it continues to go up. So yeah, there's a bit of excitement and hype around this. Go figure, for a system that now has over 141 million sold. Like, that's the install size right now for the Switch, which is absolutely massive. So when they eventually do reveal this thing with a trailer or a live event, just something, it is going to be massive stuff, right? There's going to be a lot of press, a lot of excitement, a lot of interest in this. So it makes sense to set expectations here for the Direct coming up, where there won't be any mention of this one. I would look at this and say that they are going to prepare a reveal for this system in the fall. So right now, if I had to guess, September, October, somewhere in there. And I believe they're going to launch the system March 2025. And the reason I say that is because they also put out their forecast, and their forecast for the Switch in this current fiscal year is coming in at 13.5 million sold. Now, they can revise that over time. Let's say they go 6 months into this fiscal year and they're like, okay, it's not working out, we're probably not going to get there. They can revise down. And it won't necessarily matter too much to investors, because now we know that their next system is getting revealed this fiscal year. About 10 months at the latest. Worst case scenario, they reveal it in March 2025. I believe that's when they're going to launch it, though, because they believe the Switch will continue to sell, I would say, very strongly then. 13.5 million units sold for a system that is in its 8th year is impressive stuff. Remember, that would technically be the entirety of the Wii U's lifetime sales. They're going to do that in the 8th year of the Switch, which means, yes, they probably have some stuff, go figure, to announce in terms of software. While I do believe it's going to be a lot of remasters, remakes, re-releases, that kind of thing, I mean, it should be enough in their mind to get them over that finish line of 13.5 million. And if it's not, by the time they show up and talk about it in May of next year, I think their next system will be out anyway, so investors will probably be thrilled with how that one is doing, as I believe that will get off to an incredibly fast start. And while announcing a new system before the holidays would slow down the current Switch sales, it's always possible Nintendo could have a price drop plan. Maybe they to consolidate the systems down a bit and have even a revision lined up to introduce ahead of the holidays for a bit more excitement. Remember, this is the company that introduced the 2D XL out of nowhere one night when we were all already talking about the Switch and looking forward to that. But this is obviously exciting, because now we're kind of counting down the days to when they will make that reveal, and technically it'd be anytime between now and March 2025. But also, this is Nintendo confirming the next system, and also confirming that, yeah, it's going to be a follow-up to the Switch, and based on a lot of the reports we have, we probably know a lot of information around this device. But it is just good to see Nintendo finally making some moves around this new system, and now we just kind of hang out and wait and hope that it's sooner rather than later. Who knows? Maybe we get through this June Direct, and then in August they start talking about this next system. But the other part of this is we're probably going to start seeing more and more talks and reports and rumors around this device, because eventually it also has to go into manufacturing. And, well, based on what we see every single time just about, whether it's the PS5, the Switch Lite, the PlayStation Portal, it ends up leaking out with different images. So something tells me this one will probably do the same. But let me know what you guys think about all of this down below. Are you relieved to finally see Nintendo talk about this openly, just outright online, and kind of give us this timetable as to when we can expect it to be revealed? Thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll see you next time.